Islam Makhachev saved the welterweight division at UFC 322 when he became double champion and the new welterweight champion, dominating Jack Della Maddalena. And honestly, it's time that Islam Makhachev gets the respect that he deserves. Now he is pound for pound number one. Now he is in the conversation for all-time GOAT. He's already the GOAT of lightweight. And I feel like not enough people are giving him the credit that he deserves. And to top it all off, there's a certain subset of fan base that is saying, man, Islam's boring, man. Islam's so boring. When Islam literally saved the welterweight division by their own metrics. By their own metrics. YouTube views, Instagram followers, personality. We're going to break down a lot in this video. We really are. We're even going to talk about some people's favorite Muslim-hating YouTuber. We're going to talk about that a little bit in this video. But we have a lot to go through. So first off, double champ, we made it. Alhamdulillah. Thanks God. Want to say thanks to all my fans and supporters around the world. It wouldn't happen without you. Legacy continues. What a historic moment here. This is truly historic. To go up after actually defending your belt multiple times in your weight class, and then to dominate the champion in the weight class above, who was on an 18-fight win streak, is absolutely insane. Jack Della Maddalena, I understand a lot of people are shitting on him after his performance. We're actually going to talk about his corner work a little bit in this video as well. But Jack Della had never lost in the UFC. Had never lost in the UFC. He was on an 18-fight win streak. And Islam went out there and literally made JDM look like he did not belong in the organization. And became double champion, which I understand now technically there's not like a real double champion. The UFC's not allowing it anymore. But essentially that's just to free up other titles to headline other pay-per-views. That's why the UFC did what they did. But in reality, Makhachev is a simultaneous double champ. I know technically if you want to be like, oh, well, they did make him do this and that. We're going to talk about him and Topuria, by the way, and him versus other contenders in this video as well. But at 322, he truly saved the division. Now, I want to take a look at this because we finally have the updated pound-for-pound rankings, and Islam Makhachev moves up one spot to number one over Ilia Topuria. Now, I said it before, and I'll say it again. It was an absolute travesty that Charles Oliveira, who was on a one-fight win streak against Michael Chandler, bummy-ass Michael Chandler, Topuria defends his belt once at featherweight, moves up. I understand he wanted to fight Islam, but Islam wanted to move up and try to become a double champ as well. He beats Charles Oliveira, who Islam dominated when he was closer to his prime, and Topuria gets gifted the pound-for-pound number one spot. Dana White was trying to gift John Jones the pound-for-pound number one spot before when he sat on his ass for years waiting for the dead body of Stipe Miocic. So the pound-for-pound rankings are finally correct, okay? Luckily, the media got that right. But by the way, we'll talk about this real quick as well. The welterweight rankings are dog shit. Absolute dog shit. I mean, just to point one out, one glaring flaw, Ian Machado Gary at number 6, behind Carlos Prates at number 5. How does that make any sense? Gary schooled him. Gary schooled him. Now I get it'll update next week, depending on who wins, Bilal or Gary at UFC Qatar, which is right around the corner. But this is just crazy to me. Absolutely crazy. The rest of it, okay, it's kind of debatable. Brady dropped to number 7 at one point a couple months ago. He was sitting at number 1. He was at number 2 recently, which is insane. Now he's down at number 7. I kind of get it, but he did get chinned by Michael Morales. Shavkat's kind of a weird spot because he hasn't been very active. But I just think it's bizarre you have Gary behind Prates, who he literally just beat. Gary took it on short notice. Prates had a full camp, and he dominated Prates. And somehow they're going to do this in the who's doing this shit? Is this blood and sweat? Is this Honolulu 95.5? If you know, you know. Anyway, Islam takes his rightful spot as the pound-for-pound number 1 fighter in the world, rightfully so, after his amazing performance, which we're going to get to in a second, about the people, it was boring, man. It was fucking boring, man. We're going to get to that in a second. But takes his rightful spot as pound for pound number one. Next thing I want to talk about, okay, is Islam's achievements. And this is a bit satirical, and we're going to break that down, but it's also really facts, to be honest. Islam Makhachev dominated JDM at UFC 322 to save the welterweight division. Pound for pound number one, lightweight GOAT, UFC GOAT. Again, that's a discussion that can be had, but I think you can make the case rather strong for Islam. Win streak ender. Okay, we'll talk about that more. Best striker in the UFC, biggest UFC star, tied longest UFC win streak, double champ, millions of Instagram followers, entertaining personality, sells pay-per-views. We'll talk. We got so much to talk about. We're gonna break down his star power as well. Why is it, right? I say satirically that JDM has no Instagram followers, JDM has no personality, JDM sells no pay-per-views. And there's some people that don't understand that joke. They don't understand the satire of it all. Apparently, only Instagram followers, personality, and pay-per-view sales, that only matters to a large portion of the online MMA fan base when they have a Muslim champion they don't like. When Ankalaev wins, Ariel Helwani's like, this is a disaster, man. This is such a fucking disaster, man. You had the fans crying, oh my God, Bilal doesn't have any personality. He's got no Instagram. Nobody cares about him. But now Islam checks off those very boxes, takes the belt away from JDM, who didn't check any of those boxes. And I don't see them jumping up and down like, oh my God, yes. Yes, I'm so happy that Islam's going to sell some extra pay-per-views for the UFC. Well, pay-per-views going away, at least in the United States. But I don't see people cheering that on. Like, I thought you guys cared. I thought you guys got a fucking cut of the UFC pay-per-view. That's why you complain when Bilal won. That's why you complain when Ankalaev won. That's why you complain anytime there was a champion that wasn't a major draw that you did not like, usually Muslim. Why is that the case? I don't see people hyping it up other than me. And also, Islam's got a personality too. Very interesting guy. We're actually going to take a look at a clip from his UFC 322 post-fight press conference, which I actually thought was pretty funny. We're going to check that out as well. Also, a tweet that he recently posted today, right before I did this video. Anyway, next thing I want to check out, because there's so much to talk about from UFC 322 that I didn't cover or didn't cover extensively in my post-fight. But man, JDM crying. A broken man at UFC 322. And I don't want to sit here and pile on JDM too much, but I do want to shit on his corner because his corner was absolutely horrific. I shit on Sean O'Malley's corner, Tim Welch, when they're like, yeah, we didn't expect double legs against Merab, even though Merab shoots double legs all the time. You know, we didn't expect those. And then in the corner, he's like, just breathe, Suge. Just breathe, Suge. You got to breathe. You're a champion, Suge. It's almost over. JDM was a broken man crying, looking like the hills have eyes. Split decision merchant. And this was his corner's advice, man. Listen to his corner's advice.
Sad look off your face, all right?
Wipe the sad look off your face. Okay, let's see. Come on, let's get in some technical advice.
You've got 5 minutes. It takes you one shot to finish a fight, right?
Thank you. I mean, JDM is down here. He's about to lose his title. And they're like, it just takes one shot. Just one shot, JDM. One shot, Jack.
Put some hands on his cunt. You ain't touched him yet.
Put some hands on him. You ain't touched him. I wish we had a way. There was the full corner audio for both guys. This would be a great idea for the UFC. They should record the full corner audio for both guys and then upload those after the fact so you can watch all 5 rounds of corner audio. That's a great idea, at least for the major fights. Would love that idea. That'd be a great idea. Anyway, let's continue.
Can you get... Well, get your feet on the ground. You've got to get after this cunt, listen, man. Yeah. Take some risks.
You got to get after him and take some risks. That's basically what he has to offer. Wipe the sad look off your face, and it only takes one shot. It only takes one shot. We'll listen to a little bit more.
Fucking put damage on him, all right? Yeah. Jack, 5 minutes. Now, Jack. It takes you one shot to finish a fight. Hit him in the body hard. Smash him in the face.
Hit him in the body, smash him in the face. I swear, and I don't know. I haven't followed his corner enough. But man, are all these coaches like grifters? Like, I see people coming in my comments all the time, be like, hey man, you're a fat ass. You ain't never stepped foot in the cage. You don't know shit. Half the time I hear this corner advice, I'm like, oh my God, this corner advice is horrible. And I understand it's a tough situation, but just breathe and put hands on him in one shot. That's all it takes. There's no real technical. Where's Craig Jones at? Where's Craig Jones with the BJJ? Where are they at? Because JDM just laid on the ground surviving the entire fight. And people had the audacity to call Islam boring afterwards. It's just insane to me. First off, it was not a boring fight. The entirety of the fight, Islam was hunting for submissions. That made it exciting. I understand there's a subset of the fan base. It's like, man, grappling? Man, that's homosexual, man. Grappling? Two shirtless men grappling each other? Gay. But Islam was hunting for submissions the entire time he had JDM on the ground. But JDM, apparently, when he trained with Craig Jones, all he did was train to survive. He got taken down over and over and then never got up. He didn't get up not one fucking time. That's insane. That's insane. I think, so it's 5 takedowns, or 4 takedowns, I guess, because Jack tried to take down and then got reversed. I don't know what the stats are, but either way, there's like 4 or 5 takedowns in the fight, and then JDM just refused to move, refused to try to scramble, because he was scared of getting subbed. And while it was still entertaining, if you found it boring, why aren't you blaming JDM? Like, man, JDM, why didn't you try to scramble the fuck up? Risk getting subbed, risk getting darshed, risk getting guillotined, risk giving up your back and getting subbed, risk getting your arm torn off. But let's try to make it a fight. Let's not just get dominated and graped for 5 rounds. I truly don't understand how people watch a fight like this and they're like, oh man, Islam's boring. Islam's boring. It's always the people who hate the Dagestani fighters, who hate the Muslim fighters. Even when you have an ultra exciting fighter like Islam, one of the most exciting fighters on the roster, if they have one fight where they're just dominant with the grappling and the other guy just trains to survive or just tries to survive, then they blame the guy who dominated him. Like, what is Islam supposed to do? Just back out and be like, oh well, let's swing wildly just for the fans. That's not the sport. The sport is to see who's the best. And JDM could at least try to stop crying and instead try to get up and risk getting finished. People would have more respect for him. But I do believe JDM and his coaches and the fan base and a lot of MMA talking heads and pundits were gaslit by Bilal. I don't understand how people didn't see it. I said it loud and clear since the live stream where Bilal lost to JDM. Oh, well, Bilal just boxed with him for 5 rounds and narrowly lost. It was a close win for JDM. And Bilal didn't really try to grapple ever. Other than, okay, a little bit late. And people somehow believe that JDM had some type of mythical takedown defense. Didn't stuff a single takedown. I think this entire corner was convinced, just like DDP was convinced against Khamzat Chimaev. They're like, yeah, man, we just got to survive early. He's going to gas out. That was the popular narrative. And they bought it. And then they're surviving. Oh, any minute now, this guy's going to gas out. It never happened. In this case, I guess JDM thought, man, I really stuffed those takedowns of Bilal. I'm going to stuff them of Islam as well, which Islam is a far superior grappler, by the way. So it's just crazy to me that now people are calling him boring, especially considering his resume. First off, he's 28-1. He has 1 loss. He has now tied the UFC record for most wins in a row. And if you're quantifying boring by decisions or finishes, look at Islam's resume. He has 18 finishes, 10 decisions. You look at his last few fights before this. Subbed Moicano in the first round with ease. Treated him like a trash can too. Subbed Dustin Poirier in a great fight. Finished him in the 5th round. Was hunting for a sub in the 5th round against JDM as well. Head kick KO'd Alexander Volkanovski. And I know everyone says, well, Volkanovski took it on short notice. I get that. But also, look what Islam did to him. Even Volkanovski on short notice, to see that happen to him, it's not like he gassed out and got beat up. And then the first fight, that was one of the best fights of the year. It was one of the best fights of 2023. And by the way, it was competitive, but Islam clearly won. before that sub Charles Oliveira, before that dominated Bob Green, before that ripped Dan Hooker's arm off. Islam's not just beating these guys. He's normally destroying them in the first round. So now you get a fight against JDM and people act like it's boring because JDM lays there like a sacrificial lamb, refusing to try to scramble and basically keeping it in a stalemate. And even so, Islam was still hunting subs. If you didn't find it exciting when Islam snuck on the back and then started locked in the body triangle and then started locking down the arm to try to lock up a rear naked choke, you're not a fan of the sport. Go watch WWE. Go watch boxing. Go watch influencer boxing. Because to call Islam Makhachev boring is an absolute joke rooted in complete and utter bias. And that is a fact. That is a fact. To call him boring is crazy. Off of one performance that wasn't even that boring. Oh, it wasn't up to, par with some of these other first round finishes. But JDM was on an 18-fight win streak. Welterweight champion of the world in his prime. And Islam treated him like a trash can. That's the reality of the situation. Now, another thing I want to talk about is Islam's star power. Because I always see people worried, and we already covered this a little bit, worried about star power. Like, yeah, man, UFC pay-per-views, YouTube views, Instagram views, this and that. Let's check out Islam's star power, because I said it before, Islam is one of the biggest stars in the UFC. After Saturday, I think that Islam is the biggest star in the UFC. A lot of people anoint that to Alex Pereira. Some maybe Topuria, but let's just stick with Alex Pereira. We'll talk about Topuria in a minute. Let's take a look at YouTube. Islam's post-fight press conference, 824,000 views. Islam's post-fight interview in the cage, 2.3 million views. How insane is that? That is outright insane. It's only been 48 hours since the fight. And I was like, let me go compare that to somebody else. Let me go compare that to Alex Pereira, who's supposedly the biggest star. Press conference, 332,000 views. Octagon interview, 771,000 views. Yeah, he got the 13 million for the finish. That's pretty damn good, but the UFC's posting their main event of their pay-per-view right after the fact. If Islam would have had a crazy finish and they would have posted it, I guarantee it would have got over 20, probably over 30 million views. If he would have went out there, just dominated JDM and subbed him immediately, probably would have got crazy views as well. So to Pereira, it's not even close. It's not even, you're talking over double the amount of post-fight press conference views. And you can say, oh, well, Pereira doesn't speak English. Makhachev doesn't speak great English either. They're both kind of learning. And then, everyone loves to talk about Instagram followers again when it's a Muslim fighter, but they don't give credit. It doesn't swing the opposite way, because Islam Makhachev, 11.6 million Instagram followers. They hype up Topuria's Instagram followers. I don't even have that in front of me right now. They hype that up. If you research that and dive into it a little bit, like half of those Instagram followers from Topuria are bought. They are bots. They are paid for. They are bought by Ilia Topuria or somebody. Or some, it's crazy. I'll pull up Topuria right now for you. Let's see how many Instagram followers he has. He has 11.6. Half of these are bots. So 11.6 compared to 11.6. It's tied, and Topuria has far more bots. I've covered that in another video. I'm not going to break that down right now. So you also compare that. So it's tied with Topuria, who's supposedly the biggest name in the sport. Well, also Pereira is known as the biggest name in the sport. 7.7 million followers. I know this sounds crazy, and I know some people aren't going to understand what I'm doing here, but I'm just pointing out the flawed logic. They care about these metrics when it's a way to criticize certain fighters from certain regions of certain religions or certain fighters they don't like, but then they're not like, damn, man. People were acting like O'Malley was a star. They were acting like O'Malley was a star. It's crazy, man. People were acting like Strickland was a star after he beat Adesanya. But it's crazy. Islam is actually the biggest name in the sport right now, in my opinion. And some of these metrics do back it up. And if you want to look at something else, I think this actually matters a little bit more. And again, I don't think social media followings is 100% indicative of actual star power. We've broken that down countless times before. But look at this. Look at this right here. 29.1 million for Islam's belt wrap. Look at this. This got 29.1 million for his double belt wrap here. That's pretty impressive. We're 2 days after the fact. What did Alex Pereira get when he went out there and finished Ankalaev in the first round? What did he get? 28.5 million. And this has been sitting around for 2 months now. So we can be sure this is going to grow. It's probably going to be like 35 million, maybe more. We'll see. I'll check back in a couple weeks. Compared to Pereira, who people anoint as the biggest star in the sport. The point I'm trying to prove here is Islam is a bigger UFC star than Alex Pereira. There is no doubt about that. And then, to top it all off, and I said this already, Islam actually has an interesting personality, which people seem to care about. But for some reason, he just rubs people the wrong way, apparently. Wonder what that could be. But he has an interesting personality. Let's listen to what he had to say at the post-fight interview, which got damn near 1 million views on YouTube. Let's listen to what he had to say.
What did you say to Craig Jones after?
I told him, your jiu-jitsu not working. You have to come to Dagestan for 2-3 years.
What did he say?
He started laughing. He told Khabib, I will come Dagestan.
He told Craig Jones, the fraud Craig Jones, who had people convinced he was the Dagestani killer at 0-4. Man, that was one of the dumbest narratives. I'm so glad I say this shit on video before anything happens, because people are like, oh, Joey, of course, it's easy to see now. They were anointing Craig Jones as some Dagestani wizard, and dude's 0-4 against the same dude. I mean, it's crazy. And this is hilarious that Islam said, come to Dagestan 2-3 years, forget. Because Islam went out there and demolished the dude that he trained to supposedly be able to thwart the ground game, which I guess to a certain extent he did, but couldn't get up off his back. That's what he was supposed to also help, be able to get JDM in positions to scramble back up, but he was too worried about getting subbed. He laid there like a dead body on the ground. Other thing I want to cover is the comparison, or actually, hold on, Islam recently tweeted this out. This last thing I want to talk about with Craig Jones. Makhachev also tweeted out, jokes aside, Craig Jones needs to be fired. We have to make Australia great again. And then put a poll, fire, send 2-3 years Dagestan. Apparently 88%. I feel like there's going to be a video at some point of Craig Jones going to Dagestan, and everyone's going to have a good laugh about it. But it really was the dumbest narrative, and they have to be sitting back. Team Habib, Team Islam has to be sitting back and laughing fucking hysterically that people anointed this guy as some weapon, secret weapon, when he's 0-4. 0-4. He helped Dan Hooker. He helped Volkanovski both times and didn't help JDM at all either. It's just crazy to me. Absolutely crazy to me. But it's hilarious that Makhachev's leaning into this, laughing about it, and people are actually paying attention to this type of stuff because Islam has a personality. If you know, you know. All right. If you know, you know. I'm just trying to point this out. Another thing I want to check out and talk about. This is like a slew of UFC 322 topics I want to cover all in one video, because it really aggravates me that it seems like people are still trying to downplay the performance, call it boring, trying not to give Islam credit, trying to act like Topuria is a better double champ, which is just absolutely crazy to me. And I broke it down here. First off, look at this graphic. It's not even close. This was Islam's opponent's records, opponent's win streaks prior to fighting him. Oliveira, 11 fight win streak. Volk, 22 fight win streak. Volk, 1 fight win streak. That's because he went to win a fight after Makhachev beat him the first time. Poirier, 1 fight win streak. Moicano, 4 fight win streak. JDM, 18 fight win streak. Meanwhile, you have Topuria 1 against Oliveira, who that one wins against Michael Chandler. You have Holloway on a 3 fight win streak. I think one of those was the dead body of Korean Zombie. And then you had Justin Gaethje, who he eye poked like 3 times before finishing him. And then Volk coming back from short notice after a KO. I'm not trying to shit on Topuria. I like Topuria. I think Topuria is an elite level fighter. I think Topuria will most likely go down in history as one of the greatest of all time. It's not even comparable at this point. It really isn't. Topuria just started. He didn't even put in any real work at featherweight. He defended the belt 1 time. Up at lightweight, got gifted a title shot against Charles Oliveira, who's not really in his prime. You look at Islam, when he beat Volkanovski on this 22 fight win streak, I think Volkanovski was pound for pound ranked number 1. In the second fight, I think Volkanovski was pound for pound ranked number 2 because obviously Islam had stole his number 1 spot. In the Oliveira fight, I think Oliveira was like number 3 or 4 pound for pound all time when he went out there and subbed Oliveira, one of the most prolific submission artists in the sport at the time. I mean, really still is. He went out there and subbed him. It's crazy. And then they gave him no credit for beating Volkanovski. He's just a featherweight. Man, he's just a featherweight. That's all he is. It's crazy to me that I see people even comparing these two. It's not, it's apples to oranges. It's not even a real comparison because Topuria has done jack shit in comparison to Islam. Topuria has achieved a lot. Don't get it wrong. And now there's discussion of this fight. I don't know what I actually think of this fight because I feel like if Islam goes down and fights Topuria, I think people are going to say, oh man, he's scared of Morales. He's scared of the Shark Tank of the welterweight division. He wants to go back to fighting small guys. If he stays up at 170 and Topuria comes up, everyone's going to be like, it wasn't fair for Topuria. And I'm not saying there's not some credence to that, but it's like a lose-lose. You go down and beat Topuria. Oh, you beat the smaller guy. You go up or you have Topuria come up. First off, he shouldn't be fighting for a third title without defending his lightweight title. Doesn't want to fight Arman, rather vacate his title. And now he's going to fight for 170. And if Islam beats him, it's going to be no different than when Islam beat Volkanovski. They're not going to give him any credit for it, even though he ends another crazy, insane win streak because Topuria is undefeated. What is he, 18 or 19-0 right now? It's crazy to me. And I even put this right here. Islam Makhachev, most title defenses at lightweight, tied for the all-time win streak, beating fighters with insane win streaks and all on pound-for-pound list. All-time GOAT, pound-for-pound #1 double champ. You have Topuria, one title against recently KO'd Volk, defended one time, double champ against Oliveira on a one-fight win streak against Chandler. I know people are going to think that I'm hating on Topuria. These are just facts. I've been saying this for a while. It has nothing to do. Go back and look. I've been a big believer and a big fan of Ilia Topuria for a long time. A long time. This is just the reality. I can't believe people are even acting like they're in the same category. I can't believe people defend it. And I know pound for pound list doesn't really matter all that much, I guess. But people defend it throwing Topuria up the list because he became double champ by beating an out of prime Oliveira, who's still very good. Don't get me wrong. So it's just bizarre to me that you have these people, no matter what you do, no matter what you fucking do, they're not going to give him the credit that he deserves. They're really not. And I think we have to, I've said this so many times as well, we have to appreciate these guys when they're in that special moment in time, because like that, it's gone. It can be gone so quickly. He's almost 35. We don't know how much longer he's going to hang around. I don't even know who I want him to fight next. I know there's a lot of talk of Michael Morales. I like that matchup. I think if Gary beats Bilal, I think he's most deserving because of the streak and the fact that he's only lost a close fight to Shavkat, and it was on short notice. I think then going back and beating the brakes off Carlos Prates and then potentially beating a former champ, Bilal Muhammad, if he does at UFC Qatar, I would favor Gary to get the next title shot if he beats Bilal next week. So that'd be a banger matchup. And I don't know what the fan base who hates the Muslims or, you know, the incel weirdos who hate Gary, they're going to clash big time because they'll be like, Gary loves his wife, man. Gary loves his wife. What are we ever going to do if he wins the title? But no, Islam, inbred. So if I'm making the decisions, if Gary beats Bilal, I'm making Islam versus Gary. I know some people want Islam Topuria. Let me know what matchup you would prefer for Islam. But to be honest, Islam versus Shavkat, Islam versus Gary, Islam versus Morales, Islam versus Topuria, I think are all great fights. And imagine if Islam wins one of those fights, any of those names. What does that do to his resume? What does that do to his resume? And I have talked about a lot of these fans who are fucking insane and basically pick fights based on people's religion and say certain things because they don't like a fighter's religion. And a couple people kept messaging me about MMA Guru's live reaction to Islam beating Jack Della Maddalena. And I tweeted this out. And this is honestly disturbing, man. You can read this for yourself. I'm not even going to read that. I mean, look at this type of shit. Basically joking about this. And I'm going to play the clip for you guys. I thought this dude was playing a character. And it's insane. I tweeted this out. I knew MMA Guru was the Dylan Dennis of MMA YouTube, but I thought he was playing a character. Send in the nukes. Go cry at a border is despicable. Just goes to show how you can capitalize on the MMA fan base by being Islamophobic, xenophobic, racist, and just an overall bigot. This is disgusting behavior. It deserves to be called out. I think everyone should pretty much be able to say whatever they want. And I say some crazy stuff sometimes, but this is crazy. The amount of seethe here, the amount of absolute rage and cope is crazy to say this type of shit. Because you're mad that a Muslim fighter who's super exciting and one of the all-time greats went out there and dominated a dude on his prime. This is despicable and disgusting. Listen to this.
Don't let him finish you, Jack. It's the new moral victory. Send in the nukes, dude, right at that cliff where they're fucking their cousins year after year, the ugly inbred cunts. Let's go.
Send in the nukes to the cliff? I mean, this is disgusting. I mean, I get it. He's playing a character, but this is just crazy to me.
Oh, Jack, get back up. I know it's just their culture, but hey, this is really fun. Round 5's coming up. Come on, Jack. Let's get that mew on again. Let's mew. We're mewing in this 5th round.
I'm not even sure what that means. I don't even know what that means.
Let's go. Let's go. Dominated? Yeah, you're ugly and inbred as fuck, dude. You're inbred little rodents, dude. Round 5 coming up. I don't care. Inbred little rodents, dude. You gotta force women to have sex with you or they wouldn't. Fuck it.
This dude's never fucked a girl in his entire life. I guarantee you that. People can say that about me all they want. I know it's not true. It's talking about Muslim people. Islam in particular, I guess, in his group. Or Islam's fans. Forcing, like, this is so weird. Imagine taking the character this far. Which, honestly, I'm starting to think it's not a character after seeing this.
Fucking freaks. Here we go. Round 5, dude. Ugly inbred little rodents, dude. Cry at a border. Bitches. Crying in my chat. Round 5.
Cry at a border. You tell me. You guys tell me. You guys tell me what that's about. I mean, we all know. We all know. He's not going to say it straight up, but we all know. I mean, despicable behavior. We'll listen to the rest of it.
5. Go cry at a border. Let us in. Let us in. Here we go. Round 5. Let's go, Jack. Cousin fucking force women to fucking marry him as children. Freaks. Ugly little rodent freaks. Finish him, dude. Just finish him with an arm lock or whatever you want to do, you gaylord. Fucking little freak. Retard, bruv. He's trying to snap his arm here. JDM trying to get his arm out of this position. Gets out of it. Volk beat him. Wasn't 4-1. It was 4-1 Volk. Makhachev laying on top again. Everyone pretending they enjoy it. Cry at a border in chat. Cry at a border.
I mean, just despicable. Just despicable. And this is exactly the portion of the fan base. A lot of people are like, man, you have contrarian opinions. You call out this stuff to subtly hint at this guy or that guy. It's not about that. I see this shit every day. It's fucking annoying. And to build your entire basically online persona around this is disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. It is despicable. It is embarrassing to judge a fighter, to judge a fan base simply based on the region of the world they are from or because of their religion is absolutely insane and disgusting, despicable behavior. And I just figured I'd throw that in there because I tweeted this out. A lot of people had told me about this. I tweeted this out, and for some reason, I guess a lot of people care about this. So I figured I'd call it out in the video. People are like, man, you're scared of him. Give a fuck about this dude. You know, I think he should be proud of what he built, but honestly, if he's doing shit like this, he really shouldn't. It's just crazy to me. Disgusting, despicable behavior. Islam, Makhachev, 2 division champion, pound for pound, #1, GOAT of the sport. And I don't really care. I don't look at Islam and be like, oh yeah, what's his religion before I decide if I like him or not. This guy's got the Instagram followers. He sells the pay-per-views. He gets the ratings. He gets the Instagram clicks. This is the exact welterweight champion we need. And the future is looking bright. I cannot wait to see who he defends the welterweight title against next. And I don't care what incel, edgelord weirdos like this guy's playing or is really, honestly, quite honestly. I don't care what they say. Give Islam the credit that he deserves. Pound for pound, #1. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and thank you so much for watching.